Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about not being able to break into the industry and what to do. So let's get into it. So the question in question was a bit of a story, and it goes, Hi Frederick, I am a 20-year-old college dropout who wants to get into web development or software engineering. I've been programming for 8 years now, but I have nothing to show for it except understanding what I'm writing. How do I go about making stuff people ask of me and finding out answers to stuff I don't know? Okay, sorry, I misread this. I have nothing to show for it except understanding what I'm writing and how to go about making stuff people ask of me and finding out answers to things that I don't know. Even with my abilities, I still feel like the industry won't accept me since I have no relevant experience or portfolio. What's something that I should do to push myself into the right direction, in your opinion? So, what I will tell you is pretty much the same thing I've said in quite a few other videos, and that is that if you're concerned with that you don't have anything that you can show or prove to a future employer in order to get into the industry, that is something that you need to address. If you're self-taught and you don't have an official education or anything like that, that is something that is lacking from your CV. It's not a deal breaker, but it's going to make things a little bit tougher for you. So what you should focus on is to fill up that CV with relevant information, relevant experiences that makes it stand out, that makes it look like you actually know what you're doing. Now, the best ways in general to do this are very simple. First and foremost, can you take online courses? There are tons of free examples on different platforms. There are paid versions as well on Udemy or whichever platform. It doesn't really matter which one you pick. Can you actually add something there? That is something of substance. Do you have any open source projects? Do you have anything that you can showcase in terms of a portfolio? Now, I'm not saying that you need to sit and make a bunch of toy applications just to create a portfolio, because remember, what you're going for here is to show that you have skills that are on par with what people expect of a professional developer. And you can achieve this in many ways. You can blog about programming. As I said, open source is a nice alternative. You can start a YouTube channel and sit and talk about your experiences and give away advice and things like that. Uh, it's, all you really need is a camera and a bathtub, trust me. And there's other stuff that you can do. You can reach out into coaching programs and so forth. Like, what it doesn't really matter so much exactly what it is that you're filling up your CV with. The best thing to do apart from filling it up with experiences is actual projects. Now, here is where you can leverage the fact that you already know how to code fairly well. Because if you already know how to build things that people are asking of you, then why not do that? Take on a few freelance projects and get some actual real application experience going. Try to actually, because you can put that on your CV as previous work experience. Being a freelancer is, in many cases, if you can actually get customers and get someone to pay you, even if it's just, it can be your friend for all you know. Like, it doesn't really matter who it is. You just have to do serious level projects that span over a few months, or at the very least a few weeks, so that you can show to an employer that, hey, you actually kind of know how all this works. And apart from that, of course, make sure that, because if you say that you have 8 years of experience to me, I'm going to take that. I'm not judging you. I'm just going to take that with a pinch of salt, because if you're 20 years old and you claim that you started when you're 12, that does not, in my world and in quite a lot of people's world, equate to you having professional grade software skills. It can, but the thing is, the years are less important. It is the quality of the years that you have that makes the difference. So you have to kind of check your market value here. And your market value is not determined just by the sole fact that you know how to write Hello World or some basic programming. It comes down to one part, of course, how talented you are at core coding skills and your mental toolbox, but also what tools do you know? Do you know how to work with version control? Do you know how to set up a web server if a web is what you're going for? Do you know how to set up a database and do all these normal things that software developers do on a daily basis? So that's something you definitely have to look into. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you're trying to break into the industry, you don't really have anything to showcase or something like that, you need to address that, because for better or for worse, it doesn't really matter if you are the best programmer who ever lived. If your CV doesn't reflect that you are the best programmer who ever lived, nobody's going to call you. You need to put things on the CV that makes your CV look as if you know what you're doing. You can do this in many ways. Look into adding courses and education and things of that nature to your CV. Add relevant portfolio projects, for example. You build your own things, ideally semi-serious stuff. The more live things that you can build, like really serious stuff, the better, because it's closer to home for most of the people who are hiring programmers. And try to have a look, see if you can get some freelance work. Try to fill up your CV with that, because that's also relevant work experience. And lastly, make sure that you go on the job postings, have a look around, check what are the tools that people are using, and make sure that you kind of know these things, because these things are also very important. Having good foundation skills and like a good head on your shoulders, together with knowing the right tools, are also extremely important, apart from the overall experience that you have gathered. Have a great day.